Everybody, welcome back to today's video, and today I'm actually going to be hopping on to the White Forest train since we've got the new support. And I did say so in my last videos when I was doing White Forest Ryzeal. We weren't really playing with the new cards, right? So today I have a quick deck profile for you to show you first iteration of how I'm going to play this deck. And of course, as time goes on, we will continue to improve once we understand what some of the cards do, right? With some of the new cards specifically. And of course, then we can start introducing new text and adding our own flair to it. But without any more comments, let's hop straight in. So this is the deck profile as you're seeing it on screen. Again, not a lot has changed compared to what I showed you last time. I still run the Ryzeal package as you see over here. And when it comes to ratios, I think that's where this becomes a little bit more intricate. I run 3 Elzette and 3 Sylvie. Sylvie is the main starter for me. I would consider Elzette more of an extender. And of course, if you open it with spell, it is a starter, but I would prefer to open this. Alternatively, Black Witch plus this will give you this, which will give you access to this. And that sets up everything for you, right? But anyway, the point is ratios. You play 3 Elzette of the White Forest because she is the best level 2 at this point. Then we play 3 Sylvie because, as I said, she is the starter. Then we play 2 Rushia. Most lists now are going with 1 Rushia, but what people aren't doing is playing the Ryzeal package in like I'm doing. So we need level 4 bodies, so we need to play 2 Rushia. And Rushia is still very undervalued in my opinion. I feel like there's so many cool niche lines you can use with Rushia, so I would like to play her at 2. And then the new Elzette. Azamina Elzette is a much better level 2 than Estella. Some lists play her at 1, the Estella. I chose to cut her completely. I really don't like her in this build if we were playing Azamina Elzette, because she kind of fulfills the same purpose for me. Again, everyone has their own combo lines on how to play this. Some people play Cross Sheep, some people go with the Silhouette Rabbit. I do not go with any of that. So I play 1 Azamina Elzette. I was playing this at 2, but I feel like 1 is enough because it's not really a starter. Like, if this was a level 2 tuner, we could have done so much more. But I like this as an extender because this helps me make my Diabell. So, point being, just to run this quickly, these two will make your Auxilia send a card at this effective special itself, summon this summon back, or this add back a spell or trap in the graveyard, this chain 2 to add this to hand. Or alternatively, if you did not go into the Sinful spoil or into the Wanted package, you add the Wanted poster. But anyway, then we play 1 Diabell star and 3 Wanted poster. This is kind of crucial considering now we are adding more cards to the deck and the ratios are changing, and in this instance this engine becomes a lot more accessible with the new stuff. So it is okay to play 1 Black Witch, but 3 Wanted is definitely a must. And then we play 1 Deception. I don't think more than 1 is needed, especially now since everything is searchable. 1 Hallowed. And then the new card, Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. This card is very, 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 very good. And of course, there are lines where you're not going to have a car monster in hand, because I mainly use this just to make a Guardian Chimera. I saw this in practice playing against someone else and they did this to me, and I'm like, oh, that's actually very cool. So I'm implementing this system as well. So 1 Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, 1 Tails, and 1 Woes. I'm still going to test this because I feel like I could play 2 Woes. That's my player preference because it's a grind deck. But for now, I'm just playing all of them at 1. This, either 1 or 0. I don't think this is really necessary anymore. This is very good. This may be a 2 off. But for now, it's a 1 off. And then the other notable change here I have is that I'm running 3 toy box as per usual, but I'm only running 1 of each name here. Usually I would be playing this at 2 and this at 2. And now I'm cutting down because we need the space, and also I felt like it was unnecessary even in the grind game. Like, if these cards go to the graveyard, you just have another toy box, you reset them, it makes no difference. So yeah, 2 of these, and it just makes siding a whole lot easier for me. So that would be the standard White Forest lineup that you'd see in most people's decks, right? Obviously ratios differ, but then where it starts to become a little bit of my own deck is we play the 1 Ryzeal Cross, the 1 Sword Ryzeal, and the 1 X Ryzeal. This package won't change. I think Cross is still really good, and the reason you have to play 3 is because if you draw 1, your duo drive is kind of useless, so you need to play 3. So if you draw 1, you just add 2, which is really good. And also, if you don't happen to if you open up White Forest cards and you open up this with no spells and traps, then you just go Ryzeal line and you just straight up make a detonator. So it's also backup. The thing I feel like not many people are preparing for is the power of detonator. Detonator is a very powerful card, right? And majority of the deck lists you're going to see out there are going to be playing the Ryzeal package, whether it's Mitsurugi Ryzeal, whether it's Fiendsmith Ryzeal. Even Rogue is like this. Well, I wouldn't consider this Rogue, it's a meta contender, but even a deck like this is playing Detonator. So I feel like Detonator is the one card we really do need to prepare for, and that's what I've done, much like the last videos that I've done on this deck, where we play 3 Thrust in the main, because again, even if your Thrust is not live, it's a discard fodder for your White Forest, so you can play it at 3 in the deck. 3 Talents, because we want to punish people as much as possible. I love Talents at 3 in this deck. Spells and Trap in this deck are ridiculous. So in usual decks, this would be crazy. In this deck, it is amazing. 3 Droplet, because Droplet is a god card in this deck, because it's like Runic with Droplet. Your Droplet is just free at that point. Because we could just literally go Talents to steal, chain Droplet, or the world is your oyster with spells and traps. 3 Imperm and 3 Bestials. I did, however, see a comment from Joshua Smith saying that we could potentially play Fuvaros in the main, even going first, because it's tribute fodder for your Deception, which is a fair point, and I think it is still correct, but I prefer to play 3 Bestials in place of the 3 Fuvaros, because it still serves the purpose of tribute fodder for Deception, and it counts as an interruption. So I would rather just play the Bestials in the main, and it also just helps me know I have an out to Fiendsmith. But anyway, that's the main deck. 41. I feel like the deck can go to 45 or even 50 as I was playing it, but 41 for now. It hasn't really failed me that much. I think I've lost a total of 2 matches out of 5. And then, as I said, this deck is mainly to beat Ryzeal, so, well, in terms of non-engine. So in the extra deck we play 1 Zeus, because you talents their Detonator, you attack with their Detonator, you slap a Zeus on top of it, and you nuke, which is really good. And then of course we have our own Detonator, and then we have our own Duo Drive. These two are standard. You must play these two together. We cannot unfortunately play Eclipse Twins, because when you start to go into your Ryzeal line, you lock yourself into XCs number 1 or rank 4, and then there's no real way to get your Duo Drive to the grave once you've made your Detonator. So there's no way to really send Eclipse instead of Aggregator. And Aggregator, I feel like the negate is relevant, especially since we play Ultimate Slayer. It does quite a lot for the deck. But again, if we had a way to send this to the grave to make an Eclipse Twin, or to then play the Eclipse Twins, I would play Eclipse Twins. So if any of you guys have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments, and I will try and test with that. And then of course, the now fusions are very important. I really do want to experiment with Saint Azamina, the fusion secret rare, but again, it's a bit tricky without the Alliance Insight support, so I'll wait for that and then I'll experiment it further. But for now, your Muasya logo is now a god card, because it just adds a Sinful Spoils card, which could be this, which could be this, which could be this. It's a really good now. This is a very good card. This plus any of your toy cards is a Light and Dark Chaos Angel, I'm just saying. And then once you get into the grave, you can send it back and then make this, which is really nice. So you got this, and then you got your Garden Chimera that you make off of this. My biggest flaw in playing this right now is I always end up having a million bodies on the board when I have this set, but I don't have a monster in hand because I overly commit. So I need to try and come back on resources and at least know I have a monster in hand so I can make my Guardian Chimera live. That is the 3 fusions, the 3 standard White Forest synchros, the Arcelia, the Diabell, and the Silvera. Silvera, I love this card, it is so good. Only problem is, like, there are times when you forget that a card was summoned the previous turn, so you book the board and they just flip it face up and you feel really stupid. The 3 White Forest synchros, then we play the Zapper Shrimp, which could be making Changing, could be making Satellite Warrior, could be making a crazy ton of cards, which I really love for the fact, and it's a back row pop, which is amazing. Nathang, which I feel like is very underutilized. I use it a lot because this deck goes into time a lot. Maybe it's just me as a player. When I'm playing this deck, I go into time a lot, or maybe it's just the deck itself, I don't know. But I play Nathang, and it really is such a good card. I don't know why people don't use it, and it's one of a nice line to help you get into a Light and Dark Chaos Angel, and then we play the Chaos Angel. So that is a synchro lineup. The extra deck is quite tight. I had to cut Changing even to facilitate the Guardian Chimera now. But yeah, that's how tight the lineup is. And then the one lineup, because again, we're anti-Ryzeal. With whatever spare bodies we have left, usually this and maybe a special off of Rusia or maybe it's something else. We make a liner steal the Eclipse in the graveyard, a detonator in the graveyard, detonator effect on summon to attach. We basically then get 2 detonators in the process, which is really nice. And then the 1 SP, and that rounds up the extra deck. And then for the side, we are playing the thrust side out package. Of course, in the main we've got the 3 talents. Of course, if we're going second, we can side out 2 of the talents. We don't need all 3. And then of course, depending on your matchup, certain things can be sided out, like Impum could also be sided out. Going second, you play Raigeki, your Ultimate Slayer, which is a god card, and a Harpy's Feather Duster. Again, you side in as you need according to your match. Going first, you can start to side out at maybe 2 Droplet for a D-Barrier and a Daruma Cannon, depends. And if you're playing against Malice or something, it's a Sanctum and 3 Launcher. And then of course, anytime going second, we play Fuvaros, because Fuvaros is a god card. And then 3 Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is the flex spot in the side deck. I have 3 slots. I'm testing, so Book of Eclipse is in there for now. I don't really know if Metaltronus will work for me because I'm not playing the Fiendsmith engine. Yeah, Metaltronus is also a very good consideration of a card to play. And of course, if you want to copy this list and you feel like you want Ash into the deck, you could also side Ash, or you could main it. It's completely up to you. But this is my current list right now with the new cards. I am still in testing, but this is the phase 1. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. I wanted to show you guys where I am on this journey with White Forest Ryzeal, right? Because I feel like there needs to be a bit more ingenuity into the deck. Of course, everyone is just going to go for this package, go into this and this and this, but no one's really doing this, which I find rather odd. But yeah, anyways, that's today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.